Accessory.com. Today we are going to see a 3D printer that was sent to me from Anycubic. It's the Photon 3D printer Mono SE second edition. This is the box that came to me. So let's open it. It's rather heavy. So this is the package. It has a quality card here. This paper can be used for leveling. It's for a plate that it has pressers. A manual in English and in Chinese. Now here it has, as you can see, for the power, a screwdriver, gloves, masks, a USB stick, after sales service card, gloves, a spatula in order to remove what you have created from the plate, and the power cord. And this is the 3D printer. Nothing else inside it. So this is the 3D printer. Photon Mono SE second edition. From what I see, the whole box is made out of metal, very good. This shows that it is of good quality, with a yellow coverage that we must see. Now, at the side, power button for the USB stick. At the back, here is for the power, for the heat. And here we can connect a wireless antenna that comes with. And here is some kind of operational panel. I don't know what exactly it's going to be, but we're going to see it, if we can use it or not. It opens good, no problem with the cover here. And inside it has this with a metal plate that goes inside, and it presses the liquid and does the whole job. Here it is. Now it has a 2K, this is the, there is also some kind of paper that you can use it in order to collect after it the resin that you have used. Here is the sink. Metal and plastic. It has some kind of protective, bring it here. Now, as you can see, it has some kind of protective here that I must remove before the first usage. For the heat, in order to go outside, the main knob, and here it's at the sides where this goes up and down. Now this goes something like that, but we'll fix it after it. Now, as I have shown you, here is the power button with a USB stick. So here we have the power button with a USB port for the power, for the heat, and for the Wi-Fi antenna. The stuff that came with the 3D printer, the power, this one, the power cord, and here it is how it's inside it. This is the screen where we put the liquid up to here, and this is for pressing like that and creating the whole construction. So what we have here, we have a big package that came to us from Anycubic. It's a 3D printer, one of the latest is the Anycubic Photon Mono SE, a 3D printer that is much better from the other companies that have 3D printers that are using resin, because this 3D printer is using resin, and this is because of the speed of the printing. It can print about 80 millimeters in an hour. That's 8 centimeters if you want to see. That's about 2 or 3 times faster than other companies. And here I would like really to thank Anycubic for sending us the 3D printer in order to test it. Here you can see some samples of the printer that we have made with very good details, and we're going to have a big video because we're going to say and show you with details how you are going to work with it, how you can adjust the parameters of the 3D printer, and how you're going to get the best results from it, because everybody else is showing that it's a plug-and-play printer, but unfortunately it's not that easy. You must test it a lot, you must set correctly parameters in order to have the correct result. So let's see what's inside it. First of all, this is for the current for the 3D printer in order to work. It's a 240 volt 2 ampere input and output of 6 ampere. This is like a screwdriver. Here it has a lot of things to show you. This is a quality check card. Here you can find cones when resin has remained inside the basket, the place that the resin is placed. You can use this and return it to the bottle without any foreign ingredients to remain inside it. This is a paper for leveling, but it has a hole here, so I will use something else. And this is a manual that is in Chinese and English in order to see what you must do, what you must download, how to adjust for the first time the printer, how to start working with it. And this is for the app that you can use either in an iPhone or an Android mobile in order to control it. This is one of the extra features that the Photon Mono SE has. This is a USB stick that comes from the company with a sample inside it and a program with which you can create your own creations, and this is very helpful. This is a warranty card, after sales card. This is from plastic in order to scrape the creations. Another screwdriver, something like a screwdriver, another bigger, and here we have a mask. Using a mask with the 3D printer, it's very important because the resin has fumes which are very dangerous for the organism if you inhale them and have health problem. So the whole printing must be done in an area where it has a lot of air inside it and the fumes won't affect you. So you must use this mask at least. Now this is the antenna that you can attach at the 3D printer in order to connect with your mobile, and gloves, a set of gloves in order not to come directly in touch with the resin, some bolts, and this is for the door to place it in order to be able to open it. Now this is another for scraping our creation, and what is the beautiful of this one, or the useful, is that it looks like a knife, so it does a lot of it does a very good job. And for the current, the second part of it, so this is it. Now this is the 3D printer. Let's take it outside of the box. This, and it is. It's heavy, as I have shown you. It's from metal, good quality. It's supposed to be of good quality. It's much better from the previous version, which was from plastic. And this shows that they have done a very good job at this point, Anycubic. Now, from what you have seen till now, everything is good, everything is fine, everything is needed, but they have forgotten, at least for me, one more thing, and this is the glasses. Because if a drop of resin accidentally fall on your eyes, you will have a lot of problem. Now the 3D printer, as now you can see, and it's getting set. This is the port that you grab it, and this is for the placement in order there are created our creation. This is rough, very good, because by this way it's going to stick on it much easier, and it will be easier for us later to remove it. Now at the back here you can see it's the antenna. The power. At the side, and this is very good that it is at the side, it's the power button, as I have shown you. and the port for the USB stick, and it is good that it's at the side because it is more reachable when working with it. And at the front you can see the LCD screen where everything is a touch screen, everything is done. And this the port, this yellow thing that you see, it's a protection with the white from the inside for the UV that uses the 3D printer in order to create our creations, and it protects your eyes from the UV. Now, what I didn't like very much is this. The door doesn't seem to be very solidly connected with the rest of the 3D printer. Perhaps this Anycubic should have a look at it, because apart from that, the 3D printer is fantastic and very good. This is where the resin is placed, and I can see that needs cleaning. Apart from that, you will see that it says max at a point, so this is the maximum that you can place resin in order not to have drip off. Later we'll see. Now let's remove the sticker from the printer. The screen that it's at the lower part is a 2K screen, RGB, and here at the side you can see these two areas from where all the fumes that come outside from the resin when it's created, when it's creating our construction, our item that we want to create, they inhale the fumes, they clean them, and this is very helpful because it's not that dangerous for staying inside the room, and they are doing a very good job. Now for the paper here, it is needed in order to calibrate our printer. So first of all, let's lift it up at 10. This is 10 millimeters. It's going to go up. Another thing that I really liked is these two metallic tubes that are at the side that give a very good and very solid movement of the device that creates our creations, that is used to stick on it and create our creations. So we're going to place it. Since it got up, we put it inside. Now here at that point, I will have to say that using this like screwdriver that it is, if you have big hands, then it's going to be a little bit difficult. It will be better if this screw was at the front side or at the top side. It will be much more easier for the user to have it and screw it. So we place this metallic plate correctly, and when this is done, we press home in order to return at its first position. So here it returns and it's ready. We remove the paper. All these things you can see them as instruction and in the manual. We tighten up here the screw in order to remain steady, and Now the printer is ready to use it. Now when the printer starts, the whole technology is from the screen that it is at the lower part. There you will find also another ventilator because of the UV lamps. There is a lot of heat created, so it must be removed. The whole technology and the whole idea of how these things are created using resin, it's very, very easy, it's very, very clever, and it's very, very cheap as a way. It's according to what we want to create. There is more light or less light in the area, and through dots the UV passes and makes this part a little bit harder. This happens in many layers at every second, and by this little by little is created what we have wanted from the 3D printer to create for us. Now, because it's a 3D, the pixels that are created are very important. So remember, before all times, when we want to create something, when we want to print something colorful, it needed to be done at layers, and from the holes, from the lower part, it's coming the light, and here it is the UV light that comes and makes it hard part by part. So by the next step, the new pixels, new holes that open, and by this way it gets hardened layer by layer. It's really very easy, it's very cheap, and the whole thought, the whole idea of the whole creation is really fantastic because it's at a very low price, and this is, at least from what I have seen and how the whole 3D printer with resin works, really very clever and very thoughtful way. So at least this is what I have read and have found. Now if anything is different, I can always wait for your thoughts and your remarks in order to see. Now for removing the heat, it has the two ventilators at the top part that I showed you before, and there is one more lower inside the printer below the UV lamps in order to remove the whole heat. So let's make now our first creation. For the first, we are going to use the resin that came to us from Anycubic. This is the one. It's a resin UV 405 that it's used. It's 1 kilogram, and it's color gray. Now apart from that, we have already bought one more because we didn't know if the quantity is going to be enough for our tests or not. We bought it from here, from Greece. It's half a kilo, and it's silver color. But we're going to use the resin that came to us from the company, from Anycubic, in order to make our creations. Now, the first thing that you must do is very well shake it. Shake it very well before you pour the resin inside the basin. And I believe now it's okay. something important that I really liked is the max measurement, and this is because you can pour up to this point resin, and if you pour more by entering the metal plate inside the basin, it's going to pour outside the resin, and it's going to be difficult for cleaning and the whole mess. So we're going to pour resin up to the max point in order to be sure that we won't have any problem. And after we have placed the basin inside the 3D printer, we screw the two bolts in order to tighten up and not to be able to move. And now we're going to plug the USB that came to us from the company in order to file, the demo printers that came to us from the company. And we're going to test it and see how it goes. Now, let's start printing. So let's create of Anycubic, the demo creation. And while we wait for our creation to be created, I'm going to show you how you can find a lot of demo files to use for yourself in order to print them. Now the printer can print up to 22 to 20 to 40. The speed, what it can print from 0.01 to 0.15 millimeter. The speed is 80 millimeter per hour. It uses 55 watt, so it's cheap. It doesn't use a lot of power of electricity. The dimensions of the basin is 13 to 18 to 76. It uses resin UV 405, and the whole 3D printer is 8.2 kilograms. So while we're working with our creation, this is the program that you are going to use. The program is Photon Workshop, and it's very easy to use, despite the fact that as you can see it here in the video, it looks difficult. And I'm going to tell you from where you can find and a lot of demo files to use them. So you go over to Google Play Store and you search for 3D creations, and here is a bunch of demo files that you can download and use them for your printer. Now the first thing that you must do is, as you can see here, set the program for the Photon Mono SE, because this is our printer. And after that we're going to load a file that we have downloaded from the application that I showed you. And let's take Mina Tirithi from the load of rings. So open, and as you can see, the creation is much bigger from the abilities of our 3D printer. So we place there, we place fit, and it minimize it, or it's going to get it bigger if it is smaller, in order to fit in our 3D printer. You can scale it and make it smaller or bigger, and if you make it much smaller, you go over to these dots and you press duplicate in order to create an exact replica of your first creation. Now, as you can see, they are really very small. You can turn it around in a 3D direction, or you can move it around up, down, left, right. Now, at the right side of the program, you can see various info of the creation of the printers, which you can change it, and you must take under consideration that things are not that easy as they are shown in various videos. You will have to test, you will have to set various parameters, and it's important even the resin that you are going to use, because each resin has its own options and settings in order to use. Now, you can use various things, various features. We're going to place now something like a net in order not to be compact but hollow. Now you can mirror your object by pressing it, and Z mirror, you can create a Z mirror, X mirror, or a Y mirror. You can make the hollowness, how it's going to be inside it, in order to be hollow and do not contain so much resin inside it. By pressing there, it's going to be created a punch hole from where the leftover of resin to get outside. And you have also the ability, if you have big options that you want to create, to divide them in various parts and create them, make part 1, part 2, part 3, and after that glue them together either with resin or with special glue in order to make a bigger creation that is going to be fantastic. Now, in order to save it, every user will go to the file, save as, and write the name of the file that you have created and press save. So it's going to create and save it. Now, if you do this, you will not be able to print whatever you have created, and for this I guarantee you, you will have to press this blue button which says nothing, which doesn't explain for what it is and for what's the use of it. You press there, and as you can see, it kept the name of the first file that we opened, and you press save. So from this you will get some info, how much hour you will need, how much time you're going to need. It says that needs 2 hours and something, and how many ml of resin you are going to need. And this is how the 3D printer is going to be. By pressing play, as you can see, the above is not hollow and the lower is hollow. The above is compact, and you will see it layer by layer how it's created. So let's press pause and close it. And from here you can also change various features of the printers and change them how you want. So as we have exported now, the file can be placed in a USB stick and used by our printer. So here we are, the printer has finished, and let's see what we have made. So let's take it out first of all, and here it is. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow. So let's first of all zoom in order to have a better look of it. Now here you will see after the printer has finished how much time it has done, and for our skull island it did 1 hour and 12 minutes for this small sample. Now let's see it. The details are really very good, very fantastic. As you can see, you can even see the cracks of the skull at the back part of the skull. And don't forget that it just came out from the 3D printer. Now don't forget that after that it needs after procedure in order to be created, to be hardened. So first of all you must take a bowl and some alcohol and place our creation inside it, and by this way it's going to remove whatever extras have set on the creation that we have made. You just move it around a little bit, and after that we are going to use a device, this device, that is used by nail soap from the shops that make fake nails, and from the women, in order to use the UV technology that has, because it has a UV technology for this, in order to make it more hard and be ready to be used. So you can find this kind of devices easily either at AliExpress, eBay, or at a store at near you. Or if you don't like to buy a machine like that, you can get torch with UV that you can do the same job, and they are much cheaper from the device itself. Now we will leave it inside for about 5 minutes, and this will be ready for use. Now, because here at our channel we want to say everything and how it happens, not all our opits were successful from the beginning, unfortunately. So this was one of our first opits, which looks like layers of a candy that of a sweet like baklava that we do here in Greece, or this one which was a bigger scale of the skull that you have seen that it started well, but somewhere in the middle it didn't continue that well, or even this. So you must have in mind, you must take under consideration that not all opits turn out well, that you will need a lot of searching, a lot of testing, a lot of changing the parameters of the printers that you are going to use with the printer in order to get the result that you want. And this is very important, and for the resin. Unfortunately, not all resins have the same features, not all resins are the same. You might have to try the same thing over and over couple times in order to get the best result, and not things like this that we got at the beginning, till we get this fantastic result of the skull. Also, for a really very strange reason, the resin that came to us from Anycubic didn't work well. The items that you saw before and were not successful were made from the resin from Anycubic. So we used the resin that we bought from here from Greece, and we had a successful item with our opits in order to show you the skull island at 2 scales, as you saw. So you must take under consideration that even the resin might not help you and create problems, because as I have seen, the resin of Anycubic was okay, it hasn't expired, it's everything okay. So the time has passed, and this is our skull island created with the Anycubic Photon Mono SE. As you can see, the details are really fantastic, and just imagine what you can create if you have the correct samples, like the ones that I've shown you. And I'm going to pour now some resin in order to try them out and create some of them. So in a future video I might show you them, what I have created. So don't forget that in order to use the files that you have modified, made or downloaded with the program that I show you, must not be with Save As, but with the blue button. So let's place the metal plate and set it to start printing. Here I have set to make me Captain Dread from the movie with Sylvester Stallone.
Και έχω βάλει και κάποια άλλα αρχεία μέσα. Θα πάω να τυπώσω τον δικαστή Dread. Νάτος, έχω βάλει και κάποια υποστηρίγματα που τα είπαμε.
So let's find the file and set it print. It started. As you can see, the metal plate is lowering in order to enter the basin and start printing our Dread. I have to say that I'm really impressed from the detail and from the fantastic work that the 3D printer creates, despite the fact that it needed several times to try to make this creation. The final result was more than good, more than super. I hope you liked my video, and press like, subscribe